Look up. What you see is the ultimate safety blanket. For as long as humans have existed, those stars have been our map, our calendar, and our gods. We look at the Milky Way and we feel home. We assume this neighborhood is permanent. We assume the stars will always be there to guide us. We've been told the story 1,000 times. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is on a collision course with our neighbor, Andromeda. It's a cosmic romance happening in slow motion 4 billion years in the future. The science communicators always tell you not to worry. The space between stars is too vast, they say. Nothing will actually hit each other. It'll just be a beautiful merger of light. They are lying to you. Because the danger of a galactic collision isn't a crash, it's an eviction. Gravity is the landlord of the universe, and it has just served humanity an eviction notice. While the stars themselves might not collide the invisible hands of gravity, the tidal forces are about to turn our stable home into a chaotic pinball machine. And according to the latest supercomputer simulations from Harvard and the ESA, there is a terrifying 12% chance that our sun will be kicked out of the newly formed galaxy. Imagine a future where the night sky simply vanishes. Imagine looking up from a dark backyard in Texas or Montana and seeing nothing. No Big Dipper, no Orion, no North Star, just an absolute crushing ink-black void that stretches for millions of light years in every direction. We are talking about becoming a rogue star, a cosmic exile. Over the next 17 minutes, we are going to deconstruct the death dance of the Milky Way. I'm going to show you the invisible slingshot mechanism that can catapult a solar system across the universe. I'll reveal why the Goldilocks zone of a galaxy is more fragile than we ever imagined. And most importantly, stay with me until the final minutes because I'm going to answer the most haunting question of all. If the stars go out, what happens to us? Can a civilization survive on a planet that has no neighbors, no map, and no escape from the eternal dark? You think the world ends in fire or ice, but the universe has a much lonelier plan for us. Enjoy the stars while they're still here, America, because the eviction process has already begun. When you hear the word collision, we've been conditioned to think that for something to be dangerous, it has to physically hit something else. But in the world of galaxies, that logic is dead on arrival. Welcome to the invisible ghost collision. To understand why this is dangerous, you first have to understand just how empty our neighborhood actually is. A galaxy like our Milky Way has 200 billion stars. It sounds crowded, right? Like Manhattan on New Year's Eve. So when the Milky Way and Andromeda begin their multi-billion-year embrace, the stars won't crash. They will pass through each other like ghosts in the night. There will be no fire, no smoke, no cosmic car wrecks. So we're safe, right? You might ask. If nothing hits us, what's the problem? The problem is that gravity doesn't need to touch you to destroy your world. Think of gravity as an invisible web of strings connecting every star in the galaxy. For 4.5 billion years, our sun has been following a stable, predictable lane on the galactic highway. We are in the Goldilocks zone of the Milky Way, not too close to the chaotic center, not too far in the lonely outskirts. This stability is the reason life on Earth exists, but when Andromeda arrives, it brings its own invisible army, a gravitational field so massive it starts to tug at the very foundation of our home. In astrophysics, we call this tidal disruption. Just like the moon pulls on Earth's oceans to create tides, Andromeda will pull on the stars of the Milky Way. But instead of moving water, it's moving entire solar systems. As the two galaxies dance around each other, the clean circular orbits we've enjoyed for eons will be rewritten into chaotic, unpredictable zigzags. The sun's steady path around the galactic center, gone. Because as the gravitational tug-of-war intensifies, the sun isn't just going to be moved, it's going to be judged. Gravity is a zero-sum game. When three massive bodies interact like the Milky Way's core, Andromeda's core, and our sun, the math often demands a sacrifice. One star is given energy while the other is stripped of it. We are currently standing in a cosmic game of musical chairs, and the music is about to stop. Most stars will find a new home in the merged galaxy we call Milkomeda, but a significant percentage, up to 12%, will be handed a one-way ticket to the exit. Do you think we're special? Do you think the universe cares that there's a civilization on the third rock of this particular star? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the mechanics of the Galactic Slingshot. I'll show you how gravity can turn into a catapult, firing our entire history, our entire future, and our entire world into a void where the stars literally go out. If you think being hit by an asteroid is scary, wait until you see what happens when the universe decides it no longer has room for you. If you want to understand how our sun gets kicked out of the galaxy, you first need to look at NASA. Back in the 1970s, we sent the Voyager probes on a grand tour of the solar system. We didn't have enough fuel to reach the outer planets by brute force, so we used a trick called a gravity assist. We flew the probes close to Jupiter using the giant planet's gravity like a cosmic slingshot to catapult them toward the edge of the solar system. It was a masterpiece of American engineering, but in a few billion years, the universe is going to use that same masterpiece to get rid of us. Welcome to the Galactic Slingshot. In physics, there is something called the three-body problem. It's a chaotic, unpredictable interaction where three objects influence each other through gravity. When the Milky Way and Andromeda begin to merge their two massive cores, each housing a supermassive black hole, will become the dominant players in a high-stakes game of gravitational tug-of-war. Our sun, along with billions of other stars, will be caught in the middle. Think of the merging galaxies as a giant chaotic pinball machine. Gravity is the flipper. As our sun gets close to the massive gravitational centers of the merging galaxies, it doesn't just move, it exchanges energy. In this cosmic exchange, there are always winners and losers. Some stars will be pulled deeper into the core of the new galaxy, Milky. They will be crowded, bathed in radiation, but they will have a home. But others will be robbed of their stability and handed a massive burst of kinetic energy. To stay inside a galaxy, you have to be moving at a specific speed, slow enough for the galaxy's gravity to hold you, but fast enough not to fall into the center. But the Galactic Slingshot can accelerate a star to speeds that exceed the galactic escape velocity. According to the most detailed simulations from the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, as the dance between Milky Way and Andromeda reaches its climax, there is a 12% chance that our solar system will be flung into the wide, empty suburbs of the new galaxy. But even more chilling, there is a 3% chance of a total cosmic eviction. 3% might sound small, but in a galaxy of 200 billion stars, that means 6 billion stars are going to be thrown out into the intergalactic void. 6 billion suns, along with their planets, their moons, and potentially their civilizations, will be exiled forever. Wait, think about that for a second. That's 6 billion solar systems being told they are no longer welcome. Here is the irony: the slingshot might actually be the safest place to be. If the sun stayed in the center of the collision, we might be destroyed by supernova radiation or ripped apart by a passing black hole. By being kicked out, the sun actually saves the Earth from physical destruction. But it comes at a psychological price that no human mind is prepared to pay. We are a species that evolved under a canopy of light. We use the stars to tell us who we are and where we are. But as the sun leaves the galaxy, the map is being erased. Every night you look up, there will be fewer stars, then dozens, then 10, then 1. What happens to a civilization when the night sky goes black? How do you maintain your sanity when your world is the only thing left in a universe of nothingness? The eviction is a slow process taking millions of years. We're about to step into that future. We're going to look at what the sky would actually look like from a rogue Earth and why the silence of the stars is the most dangerous psychological trigger in human history. Don't close your eyes, America. We take it for granted. Every night in the suburbs of Virginia or the deserts of Arizona, you can look up and see a tapestry of light. We use these stars to navigate, to dream, and to feel connected to something larger than ourselves. But as the Galactic Slingshot finishes its job, that connection is being severed. We are no longer part of the community of stars. We are becoming a rogue system. Welcome to the sky of pure black. The exit is not a sudden event. It's a slow, agonizing fade. For the first few million years of our exile, the sky would actually be more spectacular than it is today. You would see the entire merged galaxy of Milky spread out across the horizon like a glowing island of light. It would be so bright that you might not even need streetlights at night. but gravity is a relentless master. As we accelerate into the intergalactic void, that island of light begins to shrink. Imagine being the last generation to see the light. One night, an astronomer in the future will point their most powerful telescope toward the last known coordinates of our home galaxy, and they will see nothing. The last photon of light from our mother galaxy will have finally passed us by. From that moment on, the night sky over the United States will be an absolute, crushing, ink-black void. Think about what that does to the human psyche. We are a species that finds meaning in patterns. We look at the stars and see hunters, bears, and gods, but in the intergalactic void, there are no patterns. There is no north. There is no orientation. If you were lost in the middle of the ocean on a rogue Earth, you couldn't use the stars to find your way home because the stars are gone. Wait, look at the screen right now. I'm going to show you the difference between dark and pure black. On a rogue Earth, if you turned off all the man-made lights, you wouldn't just be in the dark. You would be in a sensory deprivation tank. You could hold your hand an inch from your face and see absolutely nothing. The only light in the entire universe, as far as your eyes are concerned, would be the sun, the moon, and the planets. But even they are on borrowed time. Without the stabilizing influence of the galactic environment, our solar system becomes a lonely carousel. And here is the dangerous part of this cosmic anomaly. In the Milky Way, we are surrounded by a protective bubble of gas and dust called the interstellar medium. It shields us from some of the most intense cosmic rays. But in the void between galaxies, that shield is gone. We are exposed to the raw, unbuffered radiation of the universe. But perhaps the greatest danger isn't physical. It's the end of exploration. In the intergalactic void, the distance to the nearest star isn't 4 light years. It's millions of light years. If humanity survives the transition to a rogue star, we are effectively being sentenced to a permanent house arrest. We will never reach another star. We will never find another home. We are the prisoners of our own sun, drifting through a graveyard of light. One of the most frequent questions people ask when they hear about the Galactic Slingshot is, will the Earth survive the trip? The good news is likely yes. Gravity is a very possessive parent. Even as the Milky Way and Andromeda tear each other apart, the sun's gravitational grip on Earth is incredibly strong. We would most likely be ejected as a complete package, the sun and its family of planets flying through the void together. But surviving and thriving are two very different things. Think of our current position in the Milky Way as living in a vibrant, bustling city like New York or London. We are surrounded by neighbors. We have resources. We have a sense of place. Being a rogue star is like being moved to a cabin in the absolute middle of a dark, frozen wilderness millions of miles from the nearest human being. You have your internal heat, you have your food, but you are exiled. This is the ultimate dangerous consequence of a galactic collision. It is the end of science. Right now, American astronomers can look through telescopes and see back to the beginning of time. We can study black holes, distant nebulas, and other solar systems. We use that information to understand our own origins. But for the humans in a rogue Earth, astronomy is dead. Physics becomes a guessing game. Without other stars to measure ourselves against, we lose our sense of scale. We lose our map of the universe. We become a species with permanent amnesia, trapped on a rock that is going nowhere forever. Is this a depressing end? Perhaps. But there is a reason I am telling you this. We've looked at the science of destruction, the mechanics of the slingshot, and the reality of the void. But as we move into the final minutes of our journey, I want to flip the script. I want to show you why this cosmic eviction is actually the most important lesson you will ever learn about your life right now. We are about to enter the payoff. And trust me, you are going to want to hear this because it changes everything about how you look at the sky tonight. Are you ready to see the light one last time? Stay with me, because the stars are still shining for now. You are not a victim of the cosmic dance. You are the guest of honor at the greatest show in history. We happen to exist in the golden age of the night sky. If we had been born a few billion years earlier, the Milky Way would have been a chaotic radioactive nursery. If we are born a few billion years later, we might be the rogue civilization we just simulated trapped in a prison of blackness. But we were born now. Right now, you live in a world where you can look up and see 200 billion neighbors. You live in a world where the map of the universe is still laid out for you to read. We are the lottery winners of time and space. We are the generation that has the privilege to witness the galaxy at its peak. This cosmic perspective is the ultimate survival tool for your daily life. In America, we are obsessed with the next minute, the next dollar, the next political crisis. We let the small shadows of our lives block out the light of the universe. But when you understand that our entire solar system is on a one-way trip toward the void, the small stuff starts to look very, very small. The traffic jam on the I-95. If you want to keep exploring the why behind the most dangerous and beautiful anomalies of our world, subscribe to Why Zone 360.